Hello everyone. In the last lecture, we talk about or we discuss what is the criticism. In this lecture, we are going to talk about or learn the functions of criticism. You know that criticism is a broad term. Criticism is systematic study of literature in different forms or different kinds. Then we also talk about criticism is an exercise into the realm or the province or called literature. Then criticism is also journey of exploration into the nature of literature. It means the criticism deals with literature, and we have to keep in mind criticism starts as soon as the literature come into existence. So there are different functions which are essential to understand the nature of criticism, which is also going to help us to understand the concept called literature. It is also going to tell us about the exact meaning of literature. So what are these functions? Let us consider this function one by one. The first function of literary criticism is estimating the qualities of literary work, or to estimate it is the first function. As a critic, or criticism as a branch of study, it deals with the function of estimation of qualities of literary work. We know that criticism is the word which is originated from the Greek word krites. The krites is original word. It is taken from the Greek, and it means it is originated from Greek, and meaning of krites is judgment. So from krites we have formed the word criticism, and meaning of krites is judgment. In short, we have to keep in mind the objective or the purpose or the function of criticism is to pass on the judgment on literary work. So literary work can be, as I told you, it can be a poem, it can be a short story, it can be novel, it can be an essay, it can be a play. So whatever may be the literary piece presented for us, the function of criticism is to evaluate, to estimate the qualities of literary work. As a critic, we have to estimate merits, we have to estimate excellences which is presented in the literary work. Then it is the process of differentiating between good book and bad book. Literary criticism helps the readers to understand, or literary criticism helps the critic to understand which literature is good one and which literature is bad one, which piece of work or literary work is good or which piece of work is bad. So it is a process of distinguishing, it is a process of differentiating between good book and a bad book. Then according to the moderns, according to critics of our time, it is not the business of criticism to find out the faults. It means criticism is not the process which is only related with the fault finding. So fault finding is not the sole business of the critic. Criticism is not the process of just finding out the faults. Criticism is not the process of just focusing on demerits. It should be on qualities of the literary work. It means the objective of criticism is about to pick out whatever the qualities are there, whatever the best is presented in that book, whatever the literary work is there, we have to find out whether it is good or bad, instead of focusing on the demerits, instead of focusing on imperfections. It is not the business of critic to just find out fault, or it is not the business of critic to deal with or to just show, just to engage himself in cavilling and carping. So cavilling and carping here refers for finding out small details or faults, petty things which can be ignored. It is not the business of criticism, it is not the function of critic to just to find out minor or trivial faults or petty faults which can be ignored. So first function of criticism is about estimation or estimating of qualities of literary work. As a critic, we have to focus on merits. As a critic, we have to distinguish between good book and a bad book, and then we have to focus only on excellences rather than imperfections or faults. So it is not the function of criticism to just to concentrate on faults. The second function of criticism is to evaluate work of art. Whenever the word work of art will come, or whenever the word literary piece will come, we have to remember literary work or literary piece stands for, it can be a poem, it can be a novel, it can be play, or it can be a short story. So it is evaluation is a fundamental function or the primary function of criticism. It is a basic, or we can say fundamental. It is a fundamental function. Evaluation of the literary work, literary piece, is the primary or the fundamental function of criticism. It is a main function. The elucidation of literary work, elucidation, to elucidate or elucidation of literary work or work of art is the primary function of critic. Elucidation means explanation. Explanation on the literary work is the primary or the fundamental function of the criticism. It is the major function, or it is the main function, or it can be called as a fundamental or basic function of criticism. It is said that critic is guide and philosopher. Critic is considered as guide and philosopher of an ordinary reader. So here we have to consider the function of criticism. In evaluation, we have to talk about the role of critic. Here the critic plays the role of guide and philosopher. He is a guide and philosopher of an ordinary reader or ordinary persons. Without his guidance, without his comments, without his elucidation, without his explanation of the given literary work, we will be not able to understand the exact and the true nature of literary piece. For thorough understanding, for getting complete meaning of the literary work, we have to depend upon a critic. That is why it is called as critic is guide and philosopher of an ordinary reader. Common reader will not be able to arrive at the judgment. We know that passing on a judgment is the function of criticism. So common reader will be not able to appreciate, common reader will be not able to understand the exact nature or the meaning of literary work until and unless it is explained by the critic. So second function, which is the most important and the major one, or the primary function or the fundamental function, is the evaluation of literary work. In this function, the role of critic is important. Critic plays the role of guide and philosopher of ordinary man, and without his guidance and without his comments on that literary piece or literary work, we will be not able to grasp or get the exact meaning or the true meaning of the literary piece or literary work. Then the third function of criticism is to interpret work of art. Interpret work of art. In the first lecture, we talked about the criticism deals with classifying, criticism deals with analyzing, criticism deals with defining, criticism deals with evaluating, criticism deals with interpreting the work of art. So it is the third function which is called as the interpretation of work of art, or to interpret literary work or literary piece. It is said that this function, interpretation of literary work, is closely related to the second function, that is evaluation of literary piece. So it has a close relation with the second function, that is related with evaluation. So interpretation and evaluation are closely related, interlinked. Then criticism first interprets literary piece. We have to keep in mind, criticism first interprets literary piece. First interprets literary piece. The first process of criticism, the first phase of criticism starts with interpretation of literary piece. After the interpretation, the criticism or the critic passes judgment on it. So process of passing judgment on literary piece cannot take place until and unless the critic examine or interpret given literary piece or literary work. We know that the function of criticism is to pass on a judgment on literary piece, and this function cannot be completed, this function cannot be achieved, this function cannot be performed until and unless there is a proper interpretation of given literary piece or literary work. So it is said that it is closely related with the evaluation, that is the second function, and criticism as a business starts with the interpretation of literary piece, and after interpretation, after the understanding when the critic understands literary work, then he will be able to pass judgment on it, and then this judgment helps the reader to understand the literary piece. So we have to keep in mind, first interpretation, after interpretation is the process which takes place at the critic. So critic interprets given literary work. Now I will try to explain you literature. Then interpretation, and then understanding. So literature here is related with a writer or creator. Literature is creative process, writing is creative process, that is why it is called as creator or writer. Then whatever is written, whatever is composed, whatever is presented in the form of words or printed in a books, we call it as literature. Then a writer writes or writer composes a book. Then function of critic or the business of critic is to study written piece, and then he has to interpret that book, he has to understand that book, and then this interpretation is forwarded to the reader. So interpretation is a process which is related to critic, and understanding is the process which is related to reader. So reader will be not able to understand the meaning of literary piece when there is a lack of critic or criticism. So criticism or the critic is a sort of person who facilitates understanding of the literary piece. First he interprets, first he understands the literary piece, then passes on judgment, and then these judgments or his evaluation or his interpretation helps the reader to understand the literary piece. This interpretation largely depends upon understanding, knowledge, and vision of life of the critic. So interpretation is associated with or related with three things. Interpretation is related with critic. There is no doubt, I explain it, that interpretation is a process which is related, which is concerned with critic. And in order to be a good interpreter, in order to pass a good interpretation, three things are important. First one is understanding. Second one is knowledge. And the third one is vision of life. The second function of criticism is to interpret. So interpretation of the literary piece is not possible until and unless the critic is able to understand the literary work. Critic should have some knowledge. Until and unless there is a knowledge, he will be not able to understand the exact meaning or the nature of the literary piece, and the interpretation is also affected by or influenced by critic's vision of life, his attitude towards life, how he views the life. So his vision of life, knowledge and understanding largely affect the process of interpretation. So his interpretation of critics may vary from person to person because their understanding, knowledge and vision of life varies. Then after that, criticism is vast body of knowledge. Criticism is vast, huge. It is a vast body of knowledge. It is huge body of knowledge. And this literature will remain a closed book if there is lack of interpretation. So interpretation helps the reader to understand the literary piece, its meaning, its true nature, its relevance, whatever the message author wanted to convey through that book. It will remain a closed book if there is not interpretation. So interpretation is the third major function of criticism. So interpretation is depend upon understanding, knowledge and vision of life of the critic, and the literature is a vast book. Literature will remain a closed book if there is no proper interpretation. So readers will be not able to arrive at a judgment, or readers will be not able to understand the meaning of literary piece in absence of criticism. Then fourth function of criticism is to analyze work of art. It is a fourth function. Analyze work of art. Criticism deals with the analysis of literary piece or literary work. A good critic is also a good analyzer, and as an analyzer he should be gifted with analytical mind. So critic should have analytical mind. A good critic is always a good analyzer, and then criticism makes analysis of what is the function of analysis, what critic has to analyze. So critic has to analyze the words that appear on the pages of the book. So he has to examine, he has to closely look at the words which are printed or written in the books. So he has to focus on words rather than the author as far as the analysis of work of art is concerned. So his business is to focus on written material or written content of the author. Then the main business of critic is to examine words on page. Until and unless there is a proper examination of words on the page, the exact meaning, the complete meaning or the whole meaning of the literary piece is not possible. For the wholeness of the meaning, the process of analysis, the function of analysis is important. So critic should be a good analyzer. He should be gifted with analytical mind, and his concentration or his focus should be on words that are in the books. Then after that, after the keen observation of the words, after the study of these words, after the examination of these words, then he will be able to evaluate the work of art. He will be able to pass judgment on literary piece or literary work. Then it will help the readers to understand the exactness or the whole or the complete meaning of the literary piece. Then the next function of literary criticism is, it is the fifth one. It is related with innovation and experiments. Fifth one. Innovation and experiments. Innovation and experiment is also one of the most important function of literary criticism. So innovation and experiments in field of criticism implies scholarship. It means it is intellectual activity. It is related to our intellectual. It is intellectual activity. It implies scholarship, means it is intellectual activity, how innovative is a critic and what sort of experience he undertakes. That is why it is called as, it is scholarship, or it is related to intellectual process. Critics should be well read in literature. He should not only focus on the literature of his time, but his focus or his attention should be on the past. It means he should be well read in present and the past. He should be well read, he should be good reader, he should not discriminate between the literary work at the time of appreciation or at the time of reading it. He has to give equal importance to the literary piece of our time and literary piece of the past. The person who is a good reader will become a good critic. So, in order to become a good critic and in order to perform the role of critic in a good way or in an objective manner, it is essential the critic should be well read. And so criticism, the function of criticism is related with innovation experiments. Here the expectation is that critic should be a good reader, his reading should be wide one, WIDE, wide. So his reading should be related with present and the past. There should not be discrimination. Discrimination as far as reading is concerned. Then there are some persons who are very good. Now I will like to give here two examples. Dr. Samuel Johnson and S.T. Coleridge, both are good reader. Samuel Johnson belongs to 18th century and Coleridge belongs to romantic period. So they became a good critic because they were the good reader, they were the good interpreter, they were the good analyzer, and they believed in intellectual principles of criticism. Criticism should be free from dogmatism. Dogmatism means a particular principle or philosophy. The critic should not, or criticism should not be related only to particular school or particular philosophy. It should be free from dogmatism, it should be free from pedantry, and it should be free from prejudices. So these three things are not good as far as the function of criticism is concerned. So critics should be away from dogmatism. He should not try to believe or try to judge the literary work or literary piece just by believing in particular principle or particular philosophy, and he should not try to inculcate his own views, his own knowledge or pedantry. And then the third one is, which is most important, that is prejudices. It means the criticism should not have biased attitude. Critics should not have impartial views towards the literary piece, towards the author, or towards the particular genre. So these three things, dogmatism, pedantry, and prejudices, if these things are there, if these things are there in the critic, then their criticism will be a failure one. Criticism will be not a partial, criticism will not be objective, criticism will be subjective, and subjective criticism is not good for the proper interpretation and proper understanding of literary piece. Literature is about life. We all know that literature mirrors life. Literature is reflection of life. Literature is about life and criticism is about literature. Once again I would like to repeat sentence. Literature is about life and criticism is about literature. I would like to write here. literature is about life and criticism is about literature. Okay, literature is about life, literature deals with life, literature mirrors life, and the criticism is about literature. As I told you, it is the begins as soon as the literature begins. So both go hand in hand. Literature is about life and criticism is about literature. So aim of criticism and aim of literature is to arrive at the truth. The intention of both literature and criticism is to go towards or arrive towards the truth. So intention of the objective of both literature and criticism is at arriving at the truth. Criticism or literature propagates best known thoughts in the world. According to Matthew Arnold, it is the propagation or it is the spread of the best through literature or through criticism. We can spread the best thoughts which are presented, which are in the world. Through the literature we can communicate our message, we can communicate our best thoughts to others, and the criticism or the critic help the writer to give his best thought, to spread his best thoughts, to propagate his best thoughts. Propagate his best thought to the others. The next function of criticism is to appreciate and to enjoy literature. To appreciate and to enjoy literature. This is also one of the important function of literary criticism. Criticism enlightens us with author's views or author's thoughts or author's thinking. It tells us about, or it takes us into the mysteries of the author. It takes into the heart of the author. It tells us about what the author intended while composing or while writing this literary piece. And we appreciate the literary piece and we also enjoy the literary piece through the critic, because the critic is the man of taste. So critic is a man of taste. We taste the aesthetic pleasure of literary piece or literary work through criticism or through critics. So that is why it is called as criticism. The function of criticism is to appreciate and to enjoy literature. So criticism or the critic is a man of taste, and he takes us into the mysteries of the author. He tells us about what author had in his mind at the time of composing literary work, or what he wanted to communicate to us through that literary piece. So his taste, his appreciation also help us to get the aesthetic pleasure. So function of criticism is also to provide or to give aesthetic pleasures to the reader, and these aesthetic pleasures cannot be enjoyed, cannot be tasted, cannot be understood by the common reader until and unless there is a critic, until and unless there is a criticism. Then the last function, I would like to talk about it, to reconstruct the creative vision of artist. To reconstruct the creative vision of artist. Literature is creative process. In this process, the author puts himself in his pages or in his books or through words. Then critic is listener of other people's fights. The artist construct the objective of, or the role of artist is, or the writer is, to create or construct. The role of artist is to construct or to create. So construction is related with writer. Writer constructs. Writer is the creator, he is the constructor of the literary work, he is the generator of literary work, he is the creator of literary work, he is the producer of literary work, he is the composer of that literary piece. So writer constructs. It is the function, it is the business of writer, it is the role of the writer to create, to construct something or literary piece. And the function of criticism is to reconstruct what the writer has constructed. So criticism is the business of reconstruction. So criticism is the business of reconstruction. Producing or writing literary work is the matter of construction, and criticism deals with reconstruction. So writer is the constructor, creator of literary piece, and the criticism gives it a new meaning, breathe a new meaning into that literary piece, and this meaning depends upon knowledge, this meaning depends upon reading, this meaning depends upon taste, this meaning depends upon understanding, this meaning depends upon vision of life of the critic. So as far as the criticism is concerned, the function of criticism is the concern, we have to keep in mind the critic should have certain qualities, critic should have some special attributes, then the criticism will be, then criticism will play or perform its function partially. It will be objective when the critic is well read, when critic has some knowledge, when critic is able to appreciate the meaning of the literary work, then the criticism or the function of criticism is also of evaluation, and evaluation cannot be there until and unless there is a proper skills, experiments and innovations by the critic. Thank you very much.